Those are pretty much uncrackable right now by any guessing attack.
Go back to the use the password manager. Which ones do you recommend, or where do people go to look for them?
If you want a good free one, Bitwarden is great. I also like Dashlane. There's LastPass. And honestly, if you're using Apple for all of your products, they have a built-in password manager, and so does Chrome and Google on all of their products. So if you just stick to like Google stuff or just stick to Apple stuff, just use their built-in password manager. It literally suggests passwords when you go to log in or sign up for a website. Otherwise, Bitwarden is a great free alternative, and it's pretty full-featured.
Rich, you are amazing. You can watch Rich, of course, on KTLA this morning, but follow him on social media and his Instagram. See what he looked like when he was chatting with me right now at Rich on Tech. His website is richontech.tv. Rich, thank you. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Jennifer. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. See you later. That is KTLA's tech reporter, Rich DeMuro. All right, when we come back, we're going to continue talking a little bit of tech here, but in this case, it's about Discord. So this is the site that the alleged shooter in Buffalo used over the last few months and sort of laid out his plans for this attack. And it's one of the places where a lot of younger people are finding extremist views, and some are saying they were getting indoctrinated by things that they read on Discord. So if you're just hearing about it for the first time, it's another one of these apps that seems to be pretty dangerous, but just how dangerous? And is there any way to monitor it? I mean, because if you have, people like this alleged shooter on there, and they're essentially laying out a plan or a view that looks like it could be radical or could eventually become violent, how do you monitor something like that? How do you, without violating somebody's free speech? So much goes into this. So that's coming up in just a second. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. Nick Taliocchini, take us to the 91.
You know the drill. It's going to be a busy one for the drive on the westbound side of the 91 coming out of the Riverside area. From before Lofty are going to see heavy stretches of slowing for you to make way toward the 241 toll road. Moreno Valley, 215 north. Not looking all that great right now for you from Alessandro passing the merge of the 60 toward UCR and the Riverside interchange. Westbound side of the 60 Moreno Valley portion, Pigeon Pass toward the 215 merge. Also going to be slow going for your drive and starting to get busy out of Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs. 5 northbound, so before the 605, that will be still going for you into Commerce as you make your way toward, looks like about Paramount Boulevard, or no, let's say the Rosemead Boulevard right now. Loosen up ahead for your drive toward the 710. KFI in the sky helps get there faster. I'm Nick Taliocchini.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. Are you looking to sell your home in 2022? Well, congratulations, that's a big deal. For most of us, it's the biggest deal of all, so let's make sure you get everything out of it that you can. Before you get ready to list, make sure you call the good folks at Revive. Revive's business is to maximize your home sale value. How? By guiding you through market-critical upgrades before you sell. It's like flipping your own home, except Revive fronts the cost and guarantees the results. Yeah, you heard me right. No money out of pocket and a higher selling price guaranteed. You can list higher and sell faster in just a few short weeks. In fact, the average homeowner sees $160,000 in additional profit. This is a no-brainer. Revive has created an easy, stress-free way to maximize your greatest asset, your home. So are you thinking about selling? Well, you can settle or you can see what's possible. To get started, visit iloverevive.com. That's iloverevive.com.
SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny today and warmer. Highs will be in the mid-60s at the beaches, low to mid-70s for Metro LA and OC, but the change comes inland, and that's where we'll see highs mid-80s to the low 90s in the valleys and the IE, then a little bit cooler for tomorrow. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Spectrum Business always delivers fast and reliable internet for less. And now, new Spectrum Business customers get an added bonus. 8 weeks of local TV advertising worth $1,500 for free. So your business gets the best internet and $1,500 of free local TV advertising to bring in new customers. Visit Spectrum.com/reach and make the switch today. Spectrum Business. No nonsense. Just business. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Junk sleep got you down? The sleep experts at Mattress Firm can help. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $500 off during the best Memorial Day sale ever. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase.
There's a lot of COVID info out there, but not all of it's true. So it's important to remember the facts. Do COVID-19 vaccines give people the virus? Nope. It's actually the opposite. Vaccines teach our cells how to fight COVID-19. And just like other vaccines, COVID-19 boosters help keep our immunity strong. Share the facts, not the virus. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but Amco to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Limited time offer. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See participating centers for full details. AA, MCO.
Go solar with local and veteran-owned Semper Solaris. Visit sempersolaris.com.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Thanks for listening to your wake-up call. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. Some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. U.S. officials say that China Eastern airplane's crash that killed 132 people may not have been an accident. In fact, they say that, according to investigators, the plane's landing gear was never deployed. Investigators say the near vertical descent would have required intentional force. Remember, this is the one that almost just went straight down. They say it looked into one of the pilots and believed that he may have been struggling with certain issues right before the crash. U.S. border officials have encountered more than 234,000 migrants trying to cross the border in April. That number is a new monthly high. And dozens of environmental and anti-nuclear organizations have opposed any attempt to keep California's last nuclear power plant running. They say the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant is old, unsafe, and too close to earthquake faults. News is brought to you by Semper Solaris. Right now, let's say good morning to ABC's John Cohen. He's the ABC News consultant, but also the former former counterterrorism coordinator at the Department of Homeland Security. All right, glad I only have to say that once, John. Good morning.
Hi, nice to be with you.
Nice to be with you, too. All right, so now let's talk about Discord. A lot of people are just hearing about it for the first time this week, this app that apparently the alleged shooter in Buffalo used. Tell us about what Discord is in the first place, and then how did the alleged shooter use it?
Discord is a web platform that's very popular with high school kids, college kids, people who are into online gaming. What it allows people to do is form groups with people that they interact with, say at school or in the gaming environment. It allows them to post content. Why it's popular is that you get to decide who is in the group, you get to control who's in the group, and you get to control, the creator of the group controls the content. So it's private and it allows people to share content privately. The Buffalo shooter was using it, and he spread some of his extremist content, and also he used it as a way to keep track of the plans that he was creating or he was carrying out as he prepared for the attack. What makes it difficult for law enforcement is increasingly we are seeing violent extremists use Discord as a way to facilitate their communication with others or to share their information, and it's something that law enforcement really doesn't have a lot of insight to till after the fact.
Insight to, or do they even have the right to? Because I would assume that there are, First Amendment issues that come into play here, and it's one thing I would guess to espouse these views. On the other hand, though, if you're actually setting up an attack and giving a threat to somebody, that's when I guess you are crossing the line.
Yes, so for law enforcement to be able to covertly enter a Discord group, if they even could, they would have to have an open criminal investigation, and they would have to show that the activity within that Discord group is relevant to that. Because what you just described is the broader challenge. What we have learned is that criminal organizations, terrorist groups, even foreign intelligence services are using internet-based platforms extensively in furtherance of their illegal or even intelligence objective. But for law enforcement and or intelligence analysts to evaluate that content, they really have to be able to distinguish between that which is threat-related and that which is constitutionally protected. So even at the Department of Homeland Security, while we will focus on how terrorist groups, for example, are using different online platforms, social media platforms to inspire attacks, we have to be very careful. The department has to be very careful not to simply monitor individuals who may be engaged in protected speech, but focus activities solely on threat-related activities.
What an awful fine line to have to walk, because on one hand you want to, of course, protect people's right to privacy and no free speech, that kind of thing. On the other hand, you're trying to protect the public from violence. And, looks like people like this kid who used it. Going back to now, you said you have to invite people into Discord, and you, the did you call it the moderator of that particular chat room, are the one who controls the content. If that's the case, did no one on there, or how many, first question should be, how many people were in his group, I guess I should ask, and then did no one on there think, whoa, we've gone a little too far now?
Your question actually raises a number of really good points. So his Discord group, or one of his Discord groups, had about a relatively small number of people on it. But what they are beginning to learn through the investigation is that after he posted some of his information, and this also applies to his live streaming of the attack on another platform called Twitch, people who viewed it very quickly began uploading that content to other platforms so it could be shared more rapidly. So yes, people did notice it, and people did notice that it was problematic. However, the people in this group thought it was more important to put it on platforms where it would be viewed by more people as opposed to contacting authorities. In other cases, however, attacks have been stopped because individuals will see troubling content being posted by people. They'll report those observations to authorities, to school officials, and then additional investigation will lead authorities to understand that this person's high risk and that some type of threat mitigation stuff needs to be taken. So, I live in Maryland now. I used to live in LA County, but I now live in Maryland. And at my son's high school, there was an individual who was posting very troubling posts on his Instagram account suggesting that he may be heading to the high school to engage in a shooting. Some students saw it. They reported it to the school resource officer. The school resource officer worked with the department's threat management unit to conduct a mental health evaluation of the individual. They ultimately were able to employ a threat management strategy, and the local police are believed that they stopped a school shooting. So that's really where we need to start moving to much more aggressively to make sure that consistently across the country. In LA, actually, the city of LA County, Orange County are really leaders for the rest of the nation in this. But we have to make sure there's a consistent level of capability across the country where law enforcement and local authorities are working closely with mental health providers, are working closely with the tech industry to be able to understand when behaviors are reported to them and evaluate the risk posed by the individual exhibiting those behaviors, whether they occur online in platforms like Discord or Twitch or Facebook, or whether they're occurring in a school and observed by people in the school or in the community or even by parents.
And I agree with everything you said, but is there still the problem of if these people who are on Discord found that their first reaction was to upload it to other platforms and to not call authorities, is it safe to assume that they then believed in whatever these, these violent hate extremist views that the shooter had, allegedly, I should say, had, and that they wanted to almost exploit it or they wanted to celebrate it rather than alert law enforcement that they thought that he was doing right? I mean, that's scary if there are people out there who are like, in a fight where you hear, hit him, that kind of thing. That's what I feel like those people were standing behind him who was actually doing the shooting, saying, keep going, let's let people see this.
You just accurately described part of the challenge, and I'm sure that investigators are looking at and seeking to identify who else observed this content and who else posted it, and to evaluate whether their actions cross the line from a legality perspective. But what you've also just identified through your commentary is part of the, for lack of a better word, playbook that's being employed, again, by foreign intelligence services, particularly from Russia and Iran, from foreign terrorist groups, and domestic terror groups, is that they will put content out there on these discrete platforms, and they will, in the hopes that it will be amplified by those who read it, and it will migrate from private platforms to public platforms, because what they ultimately want is as many people as possible to see that content in the hopes that it will influence behavior of others. So what we're already seeing, just, since the attack in Buffalo, is Russian-linked sites, Iranian-linked sites, domestic terror-linked sites promoting and pushing out broadly all the content that this individual posted. His plans, how he made the decision on what weapons he was going to use, his ideological writings. They're pushing it out, and their hope is that others will see it, and it will serve as an instruction manual to the next shooter.
How terrifying. John, I could talk to you about this all morning. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Let's do it again.
Nice to be with you. Thanks.
All right, see you later. That is ABC consultant John Cohen. And I think the scariest thing that I just keep focusing on is he's absolutely right. When things are done correctly, when somebody sees troubling posts online and they report it to authorities, usually that person is stopped. And that's awesome. But what do you do when you have, even if it's a small group of people, even when you have 12 people who are conspiring online, or at least amplifying those violent thoughts or racist thoughts online within each other, and they start to, it's kind of that, it's kind of that snowball effect, in the sense of it starts really small, and then it starts to roll, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then finally there's somebody who says, I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the one. And he's got this whole sort of, for lack of a better word, gang of people behind him say, yeah, buddy, do it. I'll support you. I'll even give you the publicity on this one. We'll get it uploaded. You'll be famous. And I agree with these crazy ideas that you have. And you can see how terrifying that can be. Even with this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how small the group is. One person. It took one person in this case to kill 10 people at that grocery store in Buffalo. So it's when it's done right, the monitoring, the reporting, all of that, the follow-up with the cops and the mental health experts, then it's awesome. The system works. But what do you do when a system like Discord is unattainable in most cases? And that's where these violent ideas are sort of garnering a lot of support. And I'm not saying everything on Discord obviously is bad. No, a lot of it is good. And a lot of kids are sharing, gaming and things like that. That's fine. But you always are going to have this bad apple. But how do you fix that in something as popular as Discord? I think that's the question. Well, 2 kids in Tennessee have gone to the hospital because their parents made them alternatives to baby formula. And this is, and this is not a knock on the parents at all. This is what parents are desperate. They can't find the formula that their kids need, so they're trying to come up with, homemade remedies, and those aren't necessarily good. Children's Hospital Dr. Mark Corkin says the toddler and preschooler from separate families have a bowel condition.
They were dehydrated. I mean, they needed fluid. Again, because these kids have short bowel, it's not like you can just give them rehydration fluid orally. So they needed dehydration.
Remember, they talked about how a lot of times these homemade baby formulas don't have the electrolytes that babies need. Corkin says he's concerned about getting more patients and about the potential for long-term side effects. He said yesterday his hospital ran out of formula, so they are treating one patient with fluid. The other patient was released after doctors adapted a formula designed for adults. Snoop Dogg has endorsed Rick Caruso to be the mayor of L.A. The rapper offered his endorsement yesterday during a Zoom call. He told the billionaire developer, "We're a part of whatever you're a part of as far as bringing love to the community and keeping people there that were part of the community." A $320 million deal to sell Angel Stadium has been put on pause because of a judge of a federal corruption investigation. The Anaheim spokesman, Mike Lister, says the allegations are a surprise to the city.
Because we have learned of a federal inquiry focused on Anaheim Mayor Harry Perdue and a former employee of the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce.
Federal court records allege an informant caught Mayor Sadu claiming he expected $1 million campaign donation from the Angels because of the deal. The feds also allege Sadu shared insider info with the Angels during negotiations. The Angels and a lawyer for Sadu have declined to comment. And Tom Brady will be roasted on Netflix. The streaming platform announced yesterday the 7-time Super Bowl champion will be featured first in a series of upcoming specials called, this is where I think it gets good, you know, they call Tom Brady the GOAT. These roasts will be called GROAT, greatest roast of all time. He's the executive producer of the series, so that was tough to get him on his own series, wasn't it? His roast is scheduled to be taped in 2023. All right, when we come back, I know misery typically loves company, right? But I wouldn't want anybody to feel the pain at the pump that we here in California are feeling. But it looks like, even if I don't want it to happen, it's going to anyway. And also, it's more than just Wendy's where size matters. So I'll explain all of that in just a second. Right now, let's get another look at your drive, find out why it's slow in Norwalk.
It's going to be a busy 110 on the northbound side out of the 5 as folks are making their way from before the 605 continuing toward about Slauson. Looks like that's an earlier problem that's been cleared to the right shoulder and then delays don't wrap up there. They do continue for the drive on the 5 northbound as folks make their way through the Commerce area, continuing past the 710 East LA as you make your way through Boyle Heights toward downtown LA and the 101. Northbound side of the 101 coming off the 5 as you make your way through downtown. Looks like that's going to be busy. And that's due to overnight Caltrans crews that were wrapping up shop in the area. Northbound along the 101 a little bit closer to Spring. Westbound 10 Santa Monica Freeway heavy before you drive off the 60 westbound leaving Lorena toward the 110. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Holly-O'Keene.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Dodgers took both games of their doubleheader against the D-backs. They won 4 straight and go for the series sweep this afternoon. The Angels allowed 7 runs in the 8th inning of their loss to the Rangers. They'll try to avoid getting swept tonight. And pitcher Matt Harvey was suspended 60 games by the MLB. Harvey occasionally provided former Angels teammate Tyler Skaggs with oxycodone. I'm Misty Jordan.
Download the DraftKings app and use code SPORTS to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit.
Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Have you ever been to somebody's house and you go to get a glass of water from their kitchen sink and you raise the glass to your mouth and you're looking outside at their beautiful pool and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, am I drinking water from that pool? Well, I know it could taste like that because they probably don't have a LifeSource whole house water system. If they did, their water would not have the taste of chlorine in it. That's because when you get a LifeSource whole house water system, you're going to enjoy delicious quality filtered water from every faucet in your home. And on top of that, LifeSource water systems are maintenance free. No salt, no maintenance, no filters to change. And on top of that, you get to reduce your hard water problems and scale buildup with LifeSource water systems. On top of that, you protect your plumbing and your water-based appliances. So what are you waiting for? Great tasting water with no maintenance and you're helping your house all at the same time. Right now you can own a brand new LifeSource water filtration system for as low as $86 a month on improved credit with their easy and convenient payment plan. So call 800-803-2696. That's 800-803-2696 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water, taste and feel the difference.
If you bought or leased a vehicle after 2015 and you've gone repeatedly back for a car repair to no avail, your car may be a lemon. Let me introduce you to the Knight Law Group. They'll help you get rid of your lemon and get your money back and nothing out of pocket. Call the Knight Law Group for a free consultation. Call 844-43-LEMON, 844-43-LEMON, or visit knightlaw.com. That's Knight with a K. That's knightlaw.com.
Paid spokesperson. Every case is different. Results vary. Courtesy of Roger Kiernos, Knight Law Group, LLP.
I never appreciated what I had growing up. In short, I was an ingrate. Hello, I'm John Okoyan, founder of Rooter Hero Plumbing. I used to take everything for granted. I assumed my father would live forever. He didn't. When I only got one Christmas gift, I threw a tantrum. And when things didn't go my way, I wasn't pleasant to be around. Today, I keep a gratitude journal. I'm grateful for my family for the love they give me, my successes and my failures for the lessons they teach me. I'm also grateful for my team for the 5-star service they provide our customers. Spring is a time of rebirth. Rooter Hero encourages you to show gratitude this month and watch your life filled to the brim with joy. One other thing I'm grateful for is you, our customer. As usual, Rooter Hero Plumbing will cable your drain for only $77. Call Rooter Hero Plumbing at 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77. Thank you.
Yeah, 102-8886.
We've got your new AC, and we're ready to install it. Kenny anticipated those supply chain prices and built a bunch of new Gettle systems before the prices jumped up.
Buy a new Gettle today, and we'll install it tomorrow.
Gettle, G-O-E-T-T-L.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, guarantees equal access to the disabled as a constitutional right. The problem is, even though it's been the law of the land since 1990, most brick-and-mortar businesses and commercial property and multi-unit dwellings are still not in compliance. Your property or place of business without a CAS certification is a lawsuit waiting to happen. And if you think, it's not a big deal, you should know that California leads the country in ADA lawsuits. So what do? You call ARCOR. ARCOR will identify your ADA deficiencies and show you the path to the certification you need to minimize your exposure. One ADA lawsuit can break you. Get out in front of liability with ADA certification from ARCOR. Call ARCOR toll-free at 866-613-2519. That's 866-613-2519, or go to adagurus.com.
Widespread racism against the Asian American and Pacific Islander community is a serious and devastating issue that is impacting the lives of millions every day. It's up to all of us to stand up, speak out, and put an end to this racism. Stop AAPI Hate is a national coalition that tracks incidents of hate and discrimination against the AAPI community across the United States. To report a hate incident or to learn more about what you can do to help, visit stopaapihate.org now.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Chargers fans, the 2022 NFL schedule is out, and single game tickets are officially now on sale for as low as $65. Get your tickets today before they're gone at Chargers.com. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. This is your wake-up call. Some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The U.S. Soccer Federation has agreed to separate bargaining agreements for its men's and women's national teams, so that guarantees will equal pay for players on both sides. 10 felony charges have been filed against the man accused of the deadly shooting at a church in Laguna Woods. And a 6-acre fire in Griffith Park that started just before 3 yesterday afternoon has been completely surrounded. Arson investigators were called in, and apparently Daly Fire Department says one man has been taken into custody. All right, well, I was just looking at the average gas prices in California. As of today, the average gas price is $6.01, but it looks like in LA County, we've hit a new high, $6.09 a gallon for gas. Now, it sounds bad when we talk to our friends, say, in Georgia or Tennessee, and their gas is a couple bucks cheaper than ours, and they laugh at us and they say things like, get out of California, what is wrong with you guys? Well, to all of you, I say, it's coming your way. In fact, we had JP Morgan's Natasha Kaneda, who's the head of global and oil commodities for the company, told CNN yesterday that they believe that there's a real risk the price of gas could reach $6 a gallon for everybody by August. So the U.S. retail price, they say for, I guess, gas, and another strong surge, they could see that oil price or the cool summer price jump when it comes to oil by 47%. That's huge. Remember we talked about Wendy's getting slapped with a lawsuit because it claims that its burger ads misled consumers on patty sizes? Well, now McDonald's has joined in with that lawsuit. The two fast food giants have been named in the 35-page class action complaint. And this is where they say that the size of the patties that we're seeing on TV I guess, are not real or not really representative of the burgers that you actually get. My only thing is, when you have ever gone to a fast food place, and I mean, any fast food place, the things you see on TV never look like the thing that comes in the package that I get. Have you ever unwrapped it and that whatever looks exactly like, the Whopper, the McDouble, the Wendy's burger, the whatever? Do they ever look like the fancy thing you see on TV? No. Not saying that this lawsuit doesn't have merit because I don't really know anything about it, but come on now. Really? You expected that to be good anyway? Right, Netflix has cut 150 jobs because of the slowdown in revenue and the decline in subscribers, and that shook the entertainment industry, and so sadly they said we had to let 150 employees go today, and this one's just weird. I know that maybe wearing white on your wedding day is not necessarily the thing anymore. I wore off-white, my cousin Heather wore pink. People wear what you want anymore, but apparently black wedding dresses have kept pace with search